I'm Zaina Juliette. Sicka sicka see? You know me. Real as it gonna be. I'm gonna make you smile.
One girl that could alter the course of history forever.
I'm Zaina Juliette.
My girl power sister.
Hey. Star Seeds in the house.
Yeah,
I was really happy to see you at the airport because that was way chill. The rest was like not that chill.
The airport was amazing.
The airport, I was like, you know what? I'm like on her side.
It's like a,
Remember the fighting? I felt so bad.
she was like, are you okay?
That was hard for me.
No.
And then I accidentally hit a around. Oh my God. I couldn't sleep.
No.
I was like, God, forget her. It was bad. Oh, that was
The director, Tommy, and producer Mark, they were absolutely amazing.
Well, this is a film we did. We shot about a year and a half ago, and it's been a really fun process. It's a psychological thriller, and we were lucky enough to have Zaina come join us in the cast as Angel, and she did a fabulous job. And we're just so excited. The movie's coming out.
Yes, it actually starts today. Today is the day of
Today is the release. Yes.
Condition of Return in theaters. What cities are they playing in at first?
It's playing in LA, and then it's Phoenix, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis. It's also on every cable and satellite service on video on demand. So just search for Condition of Return on your cable service. And it's also available on Vudu streaming.
He also have other films that he's directed and produced. And they're absolutely amazing. They're amazing films when I tell you. So you got to keep an eye out. Pasdg Entertainment. Please go out. You have to see this film, Condition of Return. Why don't you tell us who's starring in the film?
We have got AnnaLynne McCord starring, and as well as Dean Cain, Natasha Henstridge, James Russo, and as I said, Zaina Juliette.
It's a wonderful cast. I have to tell you, working on this project was an honor, and it was like, how can I say? It was the whole entire crew and cast was absolutely amazing. Seriously. And I would be so honored to work with you again, and their work is phenomenal. Check it out. He has some films out right now on some of the platforms.
Amazon, iTunes,
Hulu. Yes. And what are some of those films, really quick?
Some of our other films are Hate Crime, Sedona, Aaron's Blood, and the most recent one, Room for Rent, starring Lynn Shay.
The one with the, I watched the one with the vampire, the kid vampire. That one was phenomenal. They're good. So stay tuned. I gotta wake up. Stay tuned, and we're gonna show a clip right after this.
Tommy, you have a good eye. You're quiet, you're meek, you're brilliant. Silence is golden. I love the way he directed me while on the set. He didn't yell, he didn't scream. He didn't need to. He just comes over to you and he whispers, could you try it like this or try it like that? I tell you, Condition of Return will make you want to watch it more than once. Because what it left us all in that theater were questions and realization. It was an epiphany of our world and what is going on in our world.
It is such a wonderful cast, and the movie is very, very interesting. It's about a girl who sold her soul to the devil. It's wonderful, and we're going to go inside, and I just encourage all of you to go out and go to the theater and watch this movie. We're going to go and talk to some more of the cast and just mingle around, so I'll be right back.
This is the greeting we often hear at the beginning of Mass. It comes from the
Mike Stafford called.
Is this about that church shooting?
What makes a person do something like that?
If you said in your statement that the devil made you do it, you care to elaborate?
Wouldn't be doing myself any favors.
The girl is sane and fit to stand trial. You understand?
I feel bad for you.
Why is that?
Because hell is real.
That's where you think I'm headed?
That's between you and God.
Did you know everybody in that church?
This doesn't involve brimstone and contracts written in blood. Haven't you ever wanted or needed something desperately?
Premiere night, and we had a blast. The cast were amazing. Working on this project was such an honor. Everything went as planned and beyond. There was a bondness there that we all had. There were many questions after the film premiered. People were thinking as they should. There were strong messages within this film.
With your passion and connection to mental health as a cause, did you feel like that was relevant in you deciding to take this role?
I think it was really the main reason why I did it. And I think that, that was a conversation that Tommy and Mark and I had early on was, what is this film? What do we want this film to be in the world? It's a passion project. We put our blood, sweat, and a lot of sweat. I do mean a lot of sweat because it was the summer in Arizona. And I think some of you know, triple digits, ladies and gentlemen, humans, it's intense. And we would go to lunch and we would talk about what we want for this. You have to set an intention with everything that you do. And even if you don't consciously do, trust me, you're setting intentions you don't realize you're setting. So our intention with this was that it brings a bigger conversation to what has been a polarized, politicized conversation in our country. And I'm center line, baby. I grew up in a red state. I've lived in blue states most of my life. I bleed purple, and I'm a gun owner. So I want us to have conversations about not no guns and more guns. Why do we have individuals who walk into an establishment and shoot their fellow human beings. Why are we doing that? Why? Will we ask the question why? Can we ask questions about this? And it always goes back to mental health. This is not a left and right issue. Happy people don't hurt people, and they certainly do not walk into a church or an establishment with an AR-15 and shoot everybody. They do not do that. If you are not working on your healing, you are working on your hurting of other people. And this, for me, was the only conversation is mental health. There is no other conversation. That's all there is, at least from my point of view. If this young woman was not inundated with crisis after crisis after crisis, and the DOJ did a research project that was funded by the National Institute of Justice, and they talk about this. Every single 172 shootings, 172 mass shootings that they researched, every single shooter was in a state of crisis at the point of shooting. Whatever the shooting was, at that point, they were in an absolute state of clinically diagnosable crisis based on what was found out later. So you're talking about people who are in a mental health state of deterioration in some capacity. So yes, I think that's not, like I said, I don't think it's a part of the conversation. I think it's the only conversation.
Thank you.
My pleasure, baby. I'm Angel.
I'm Eve.
Well, I know who you are.
Angel runs around here, so you best be respected.
You see, we say grace around here when we eat. Everybody bow your damn heads.
Dear Lord, thank you for this food. Thank you for...
Wait a minute. You've got to give me up an offering. You see, I'm the Lord round here, baby.
She ain't joking.
So, y'all got to see this on the big screen. Was this the first time y'all got to see it?
For me, it was the first time, yes.
How was it?
I mean, I was amazed. No.
You were amazing. I would agree. Good, yes.
I was like, you know, we're our worst critics, artists. And I'm like, Tommy, hallelujah, praise, baby Jesus, and whatever you believe in.
To see it again and get to run it back and just run over what I thought the outcome of the video would be and get everybody's reaction back, I loved it. So.
What was the response when you got to see yourself as that awesome character?
Oh my God, that one scene, actually, I wasn't in it physically. I was just, my voice was in it, and that one already kind of jarred me. I'm like, oh God, I really am bad.
But you're so good at being bad.
Good at being bad, right?
Thank you for that presence.
It was fun. It was actually really great to see it, and I agree. Editing, as an actor doing a film, you never know what it's going to be. You really don't. It's all, at the end of the day, you do the best you can, and you know, you see what you see on the day, but when it's put together, you don't know what you're going to get. And you did a great job. You did a really great job. Yeah.
And of course, we had a little conversation. Wow, thank you for making us hate you. Good job. What was it like getting in that costume and that physical semblance of somebody who played such a rotten person?
Yeah, I think it was important. The physicality was extremely important, and something Tommy and I talked about. In the beginning, you see he stands a little bit taller, holds his head a little bit higher, but as the film progresses, he starts to slouch, and his demeanor gets a little bit different, and there's a little bit less of an ego. And it was just important that there was a full arc to the character. And yes, he's a guy you don't like, but a guy nonetheless, and that was important for me.
Yeah.
What did draw you to the roles, and what made you want to do this? Because you are so amazing at being vulnerable. You are such an evil, wonderful person. I was looking out on the red carpet going, I think that's Darren, but God, he's too damn handsome. I don't think he can be Darren. And you were extraordinary and so lovable and wonderful. So tell me what drew all of you to say yes to Tommy and Mark.
Actually, back to what you wrote and the idea and the concept of what would make somebody do these horrific things. And I thought exploring that was so interesting. And, you know, I play a lot of bad guys. It's kind of fun. The bad guys are never bad in real life, though, right? But it's so fun to play it. And I thought it would be a lot of fun just to play that character. And you pop in and pop out, and you just get to, you know, just sample a character, try it on for a couple of days. And it was fun. Great cast and so fun to see it. You did such a great job. By the way, the cast did such a great job.
What were some of the things that made this experience unique? You've referred to this project as a passion project. You've shared about the importance of the mental health component. But what were some of the other things for you playing this villain character that was unique for you?
Well, first of all, Tommy and Mark told me that this gentleman was coming to set, and I was so excited. I was like, can I harass him? Will you give me time off of filming for me to like pick his brain? I need to ask him questions. And we sat there in prison together. I was in orange. I think you were in something much more attractive. Exactly, plaid, way better than orange. And
I had the script for 7 years, and so it was a pretty long process before we actually made it. And to know that we finally did, and you know, and we accomplished it, and it really feels good. And with the challenges we had, the quality that we ended up with is really amazing when I think about it. You know, the performances and the cinematography and just the way it all came together, it just worked out like it was meant to be.
I wish that we didn't have mass shootings all the time, 600 plus a year and rising. So I didn't want to do this film. That's why I quickly said yes before I changed my mind. Because I didn't want to be her. I didn't want to walk into that church and hold that very, very heavy, insane piece of machinery and look at all those people in their Sunday best and fire 19 shots on the day that Uvalde. We all went home from work that day, the day that we shot that. And the school in Texas had been shot. 19 children, I fired 19 shots. 21 injured that day in Texas. And we came to work the next day and we were like, this is why we're doing this film.
It's deeper than a lot of the movies we've done, but it's also the actors made it so real and so vivid for us, and they took this to a different level. And when they were working with Tommy on set, I mean, they created something really magical.
She says the devil told her to do it, and then she quotes Jesus. She's a calculating little monster.
When I'm working on stories, I get ideas, and it's always a what-if scenario, and there were so many horrible, tragic shootings and different crime sprees going on at the time. Like, what would literally possess somebody to do this? And that was kind of the springboard for the call.
Gotcha, thank you. And Tommy, what made you say, I'm going to shoot his script? I want to make that.
I really like the characters. There's so many interesting, really fleshed out characters that not just the lead characters, but all the characters I just loved. And so I just thought it was an interesting story. I thought it hadn't been done before. I thought it was unique, and which kind of scared me as well. But I found the script 7 years ago, so it took us a little time to get it made. But here we are.
How was the response when you get to see yourself as that awesome character?
Oh my God, that one scene, actually, I wasn't in it physically. I was just, my voice was in it. And that one already kind of jarred me. I'm like, oh God, I really am bad.
But you're so good at being bad.
Good at being bad, right? As an actor doing a film, you never know what it's going to be. You really don't. It's all, at the end of the day, you do the best you can, and you see what you see on the day, but when it's put together, you don't know what you're going to get. And you did a great job. You did a really great job. Yeah.
Kevin has done it all and worked with everybody in the industry, and we are about to make some history tonight. Kevin, say something.
All you party people out there, stand by to get down with Zaina Juliette. I'll tell you one thing, we're gonna pass the mic to my lovely sister, Kim Broussard.
Kim Broussard, what you got to say, girl?
We are here in Inglewood, California, and we are ready to do this premiere, Conditions of Return, with our beautiful actress, Zaina Juliette.
I feel like this is an important film because so many layers of it. The obvious one is scene number one, right? We all know that. But we do have to talk about blind faith. We do have to talk about turning our brilliant minds off and not the beauty of what religion can offer, compassion and peace and love and the things that it actually originated as. We need to ask ourselves what our religions are, and all of us bow down to the almighty dollar. And there's some blind faith in all kinds of things that don't look like religion. And this is what this film to me is also about. What do you give up your sovereignty for? What stops you from being a sovereign being and makes you think, I must do, and you don't know why, you do it just because. So this film had a reason to do it. I had a reason to be terrified of doing it and doing it anyway. And it wasn't a just because, but there have been things in my life that I did just because, and I won't do those anymore. I always have a reason. I always have a why now. And we need to have a serious look at some whys in our world. And I hope that this film at the very least brings a conversation like this with some wonderful beings like you guys.
Now, the woman, what does she say?
She says the devil told her to do it, and then she quotes Jesus. She's a calculating little monster.
Okay, so my plan then...
Her plan is to write a report that states that she is sane enough to stand trial.
I'd like to say another huge thank you to Mark and Tommy, our producer and director, respectively. Such wonderful human beings and just an absolute pleasure to know. They did a great job with the film, and they certainly made us all very, very comfortable in Arizona in the heat of the summer.
The red's popping. Cheers. Oh, look at Tommy. Tommy's such a wonderful guy.
Writing already.
Just a note.
Why? Do I have the handwriting of a killer?
No, I wouldn't say that you do. More the handwriting of a third grade teacher.
Second.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Second grade. So what about that? Can we talk about your teaching career?
Why?
You're watching Zaina Juliette and Friends, and yes, I am covering the hit film and the premiere of Condition of Return. It's not just a film, and it wasn't just a premiere. I would say it was more like an awakening. It was an awakening to the things that are going on in our world today. And like AnnaLynne said brilliantly, there are no villains in our world, but there is something deeper. There is good and bad. But what is it that is over our heads, over our country? What is this dark cloud that causes human nature to do the things that they do? We have too much gun violence in the world. We have too much hatred, greed, selfishness, and war, unnecessarily wars. It is a lot to take in.
But this film to me was like a beacon of knowledge and hope. It was a true awakening because after the film was over, there were questions and there were answers. People were thinking. There was a real awakening. No one was asleep. We all were woke. The writer, John Spare, is brilliant. I see he will have a bright future. He's brilliant because he made all of us think. And I suggest you watch the film, and I suggest you visit his site. I suggest you research John Spare. The director and producer, Tommy and Mark, brilliant minds. And I tell you, I must say, working on Condition of Return, although I had a supporting role, a small role, it was most powerful, and I know you will remember it. And the way the film was left made me think of a sequel. The way it ended. The actors were brilliant. I see the director, the producer, and the writer. I see their depth. Producers and directors and writers, such as the ones that created Condition of Return, will be making their mark on our world, in our universe, will be a part of the savior of our planet. Artistry, music, entertainment will be what brings us together. Condition of Return will make you want to watch it more than once, because what it left us all in that theater were questions and realization. It was an epiphany of our world and what is going on in our world. What is it with human nature in this time? Is this a revolution or is this a revelation? What is it with the hate and the greed? How can it be, as AnnaLynne said, that a human being can walk into a church, a school, a market, any place, and shoot its fellow human beings? What is it in the mind of that human being? Is it a spiritual thing? Is it a psychological thing? Are these people really bad? Or are there darker forces involved? What is the frequency that causes this? My eyes were more awakened than ever before. My spirit was more awakened than ever before. My mind and my soul was more awakened than ever before. All I can say is it was an absolute honor to be a part of such a phenomenal project, such a phenomenal movie that carried the depth and the beauty of human nature, that shows the darkness of something darker that can affect human nature.